right, Dave. We're just gonna pull up. Sounds good.
Okay.
Life22 coming at you here live from Premo Limo. The back office of Premo Limo, the boss's office. And my guest today is Dave Carucci, ex-Meravolian, owner and operator of Premo Limo
and Empire Coach Lines.
And Empire Coach Lines. So you own a busing company.
I own a busing company.
Okay.
And I own a limousine company.
Okay.
But the limousine company owns the busing company.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
New York State, you got a shell company.
You're right. You gotta.
So, I guess I until like a couple months ago, I didn't realize you owned the bus company too. I thought you just had buses coming. Is it? They're all every bus that comes in and out of this place is you?
I own them.
Okay, gotcha. Yep. There's Greyhounds don't stop by on there.
No, nothing stops here anymore. Now, when I was in my old building over at 301 South Union,
okay,
we had Fullington and Shortline and,
I remember all those.
Coach USA.
Okay.
Now, we sold all those bus tickets. That's all we did was sell bus tickets for those companies.
And they would just kind of pick up at the curb outside of your location?
Correct. And that's why they built the little
I call it phone booth for like bus. It looks like a phone booth, but it's for bus.
It's coverage.
Recipients.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you've got a bus company, a limo company.
When we moved over here 2.5 years ago, we had 13 employees. Today we have 55.
55 employees.
55 employees.
Getting close to touching like Stroman numbers.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's we now have 10 buses. We have 17 other vehicles.
Jeez.
And we have 3 office personnel now with a general manager and myself.
There you go. And busy.
We are busy. It's nice to be busy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You don't make ends meet if you're not busy.
That's right. And welcome to New York State because they're still getting half.
Yep.
So, a little bit about you. You were the ex-Meravolian.
I was the mayor from 6 to 10, 2006 to 2010.
Okay.
Went in there and caused some controversy, but I fixed it.
Right.
They wanted me to go in and fix it, and I fixed it.
Yeah, there you go.
So but it was ugly. It really was. I mean, water rates went up, taxes went up. We got our first reval in 50 years or whatever. So now we just need the future administrations to carry it on.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of some of the slack we're getting lately. It's we're touching things that no one's touched in 25, 30 years. And people are losing their minds.
Oh, they lost their minds how they hated me.
Yeah, people like building crosses, I feel, more than they like fixing their own houses. So
yeah. So they and then now they say, "Why aren't you mayor?" I said, "Because you didn't want me."
Right.
Now I don't live in the city any longer, so. But I'm very happy where I am.
Yeah. So now you're down at the new location, which
117 South 4th Street.
117 South 4th.
Yeah.
And so I know city officials have been getting a litany of emails from specifically one neighbor. And so for the most part, when I'm getting emails, I'm thinking to myself, like, oh man, there's like a riot going on down here. There's a whole bunch of people, just looking to remove you from the neighborhood. And upon further review, that's the thing that emails and people that cause a ruckus on social media and stuff like that are banking on, is that you're not going to do your homework. And so I did my homework to talk to a few of your neighbors, and they're passing me around to all the other neighbors and saying, go talk to that person, go talk to that person, go talk to that person. Every single one of them has told me like what a blessing it is to have you in the neighborhood rather than the business that was here prior.
When I was in office, I was down here trying to take care of some of the noise that was produced by the past tenant here. I was down here and the neighbors were just completely upset with the humming and the drying and the running of the machines that were even in the building that made so much noise that it disturbed the neighborhood.
And to clarify for the folks at home who might not have known what this building was, it was a hardware, lumber yard.
It was specialty lumber.
But it's like, yeah, so you're not just your run-of-the-mill pine and Douglas
this
fir. We're
was
talking like
woods from around the world.
Oh, okay. So even more.
This gentleman went around the world and bought wood that came here.
Like one of those health food stores that goes and gets the beeswax from the Middle East. And
there you go.
The tea leaves from Southern Africa.
He would fly around the world, find the tree there. They'd cut the tree right there and ship it back to him. For a price.
For somebody who wants that. Yeah. Somebody who wants that type of bamboo in their kitchen.
Yep.
So, okay. So that kind of gives everybody a little bit of background on what they were doing here. It wasn't just like a garage band just playing in a big warehouse.
Correct.
So, and now that you've taken possession of the building and moved the bus garage in, the complaints were that buses were coming and going all hours of the night, and the neighborhood never experienced such a noise as they are now, and none of the neighbors that I've talked to have said anything of the sort. Thank God that the saws and the heating machines and the kiln drying of lumber just has stopped, because that was like a 24-hour-a-day thing.
It was. It dried 24 hours.
Yeah.
And if you look at this place, okay, they talk about my buses. Bosse's has moved into the old school.
Right.
Okay.
They've got
If you go out there and you sit between 7:45 and 8:30, you'll see anywhere from 6 to 12 buses, yellow school buses, go up and down the street.
And that's
in the morning.
Yeah.
And then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the same buses have to come back and pick the kids up.
Gotcha. So they're blocking.
I mean, they talk about my buses that come in, and as far as they go is as far as my building. We don't go to Henley Street.
They go up 4th and hit the main drag, right?
We go from here and go up 4th to the main drag, but the school buses don't.
Yeah, they go down.
School buses go right down there, right down to the school, and they're lined up. I mean, when you and I get done with this, I'll take you outside because they're going to be there right about the time.
Sure.
And you'll see how many school buses and how many school vehicles are sitting down there that are going to storm up this street here in
droves.
In droves.
And then you've got the parents picking up students too. Mm-hmm. So it's not like traffic isn't high in this area.
And there's no parking in the area because there's nowhere to park. Right. So all the teachers are parked on the street.
Right. Yeah.
But it's my fault.
Yeah, right. It's always a small business owner. It's never the state ed department. It's never.
It's my fault. There's nowhere to park.
Right. But
we've hoped to alleviate that. I bought the building across the street, and we're gonna park some cars there to try and alleviate some of the parking problems.
Gotcha.
We've applied to the city to help us. I mean, we get cemented right-of-ways.
Right.
So we submitted to the city to give us the permission to park there, get them off the road.
Right.
It's 3 more vehicles that aren't parked on the road if I can park in the subway.
Right.
But I haven't got approval yet.
And that's for this building?
For this building, yeah.
Because it's a cemented, yeah, right. I know that in a commercially zoned building in a commercial district, you can park a vehicle on the right-of-way. But you're in a residential district with a commercial variance.
Correct.
So that's what the holdup is.
That's what we're applying for. We've applied to be able to park on the subway just because it just takes cars off the street.
Right,
There's
sure.
3 more cars that are on the
concrete.
street.
It's not like it's something nice to look at.
No.
It's a concrete spot.
Concrete.
Might as well put a car there.
Yeah.
They don't tear down the woods building.
No.
Parking lots.
No.
You know. That makes sense. You know. And then so the building across the street you were talking about, it was a dilapidated rental.
Correct.
And now
we went up for taxes.
And you bought it and you're renovating it and hoping to make it a nice shining jewel in the neighborhood again.
It will.
Yeah.
I don't do anything partway.
Right.
It'll be one of the nicest looking houses in the neighborhood. And when I get done.
And I saw that you guys had a new garage put out back.
We built a garage out back.
Store some of your personal vehicles.
Store my personal vehicles in, a plow truck and a couple other vehicles.
It alleviates
it would make some more space here in my warehouse.
Sure.
So
can't blame you on that end.
No.
So I know the original rumor was that you were going to tear that building down and turn it into a parking lot.
Correct. And then we got inside and looked at how nice the inside of the house was, and we said, "Why tear it down?"
Right.
I mean, it's got hardwood floors through the whole place.
Well, sure. You took me through it the other day. That's nice.
It's amazing on how nice it is.
Yeah.
They're tearing walls down now. They're going to expand the bathroom and make a second bedroom, and It'll all be done by November 1.
There you go.
They'll be done.
Landlords don't move that fast.
Brand new roof coming in, going on it. We've changed the colors of it. It's going to match the colors of the new garage. Black roof, gray trim, white building. So, yeah.
Match a couple other houses on the street. So,
Yep.
Yeah, that's...
So, like I said, when I get done, you can look at the properties that I've had in the city up on Seneca Avenue, and you can look at my place up in Cuba that they're all landscaped nice, and they're all done really nice, and it'll be the same thing here when I get done. That place will look just as good as my personal home or any other home that I've had, or any other building I own. I had landscaping over at 301 South Union. We landscaped the front.
And it's not like you've got, it's not like you've got, you're 5 miles away. You're right here. You're right across the street.
Right across
if there's an issue, you
right there.
Send somebody over.
Yep.
And creaky floorboard, somebody can quickly go over. You've got enough employees over here, or somebody can walk across the street, leave a message, and say, "Hey, tell Dave I need something done," or "Hey, I noticed something's leaking." Whatever it is, you can.
But I've done everything. I've done everything by the book. Ed Jennings has been here, going along with the building of the garage. There's 3 or 4 different steps that got to be done.
Oh, of course.
So the codes office is well aware of what we're doing, and so. Because everybody says it's the good old boys club. Well, it's not the good old boys club.
Right.
I do everything right by the book.
Actually, until I think I met you at one meeting.
Yes.
And we talked briefly, and then until last week when I stopped in, we really hadn't had a full conversation.
No.
But the entire time, I'm getting accused of being the good old boys club, and I don't know, for an accusation like that, you'd think that I'd actually know you. You know what I mean? Who puts their neck out on the line? Who does things backwards?
Right.
To bends over backwards to help people that they've never met. That always threw me off. But it's people are always first to just say, "Oh, you're a public official. You must be corrupt." It's like a.
And two, we have some restrictions, and we've explained this to the zoning board that, what would you rather have? A vehicle back in at midnight, which is an hour after our deadline, or backing out at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I mean, some people are up at midnight.
Right.
But there are stipulations, and sometimes they just don't work.
Sure. You mentioned that to me last week. What was it? Maybe twice a month or some insignificant.
It's not
number.
very often. It's not very often, but sometimes it's better for me to back a bus in. And sometimes, you can do this in a minute and a half.
Right.
It isn't like it sits out there and beeps for 20 minutes.
Right. It's not like you're trying to turn a Cessna around.
Right. I mean, and sometimes it's better to back it in later at night than it is to be backing it out at 5 in the morning.
And it's just a judgment call.
Because
that bus is going.
It's my judgment call that we're going to do this, because I would rather someone complain to me that something backed in midnight-ish, which is an hour after our agreed time, than someone saying you woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So if you work till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you're getting woke up at 5, that's a whole different thing if you're not even home when we back the bus in.
True.
Or you're up watching TV then. Instead of the bus,
Oh, the bus is there. That's the people that are complaining about it anyways. Who gets out of bed to go film you backing a bus out? These people are already awake, so how much is it really disturbing the peace at night? I get it. And the reason for that is because a bus is coming in.
It's going back out.
It's going right back out.
So I have cleaners. I have,
The bus wasn't planned to come in at 11. The bus, or after 11.
Well, it may have been planned. But the thing is one day we're taking Holton Athletics somewhere, and the next morning Alfred's going somewhere, but the bus has to pick him up by 7 a.m. That means it's got to leave here by 6 a.m.
Right, and wherever Houghton was playing a sports game,
it didn't get back till after midnight,
right?
Or around midnight. Yeah,
you can't tell those boys to play harder or end the game an hour early. That's not that. Your job is to provide a service for those people. And
mostly during the week, we're pretty diligent on if they get back after 11, they're pulled in.
Gotcha.
But on the weekends is when they play everything.
Right.
So that's sometimes it just doesn't work.
It's a fluctuation, but
it doesn't work. And
Right. And that's
we do our best.
right. That's all anybody can ask. Nobody's perfect.
And we would never do anything of that on purpose because we only do it to make it work.
Right. That's I mean, nobody's perfect, and you can't. I mean, you know, how many times has anybody gone anywhere and said, "Oh, I'm going to be at this place at that time"? You're a little late.
I was late for you today.
Yeah. See, so I mean, things come up. There's drive time. You have delays. Today it rained like a bastard. So
it does happen. But we've cleaned the neighborhood up. We've cleaned this place up. You know, we've asked the neighbors if they have a problem, come talk with us.
Right.
Okay. They don't. They just complain to you and to
and
the codes and
it's just one. I hear there's one other one who's only being fed information by the angry one who doesn't come to you.
That's correct.
And so they're not getting the story other than from that person. So it seems like you're all doom and gloom, and when in all actuality you're not. And that's why we're grateful there's a form of communication like this.
We're employing 50 people.
Right.
And 80 or 90% of them are local Olean residents.
Right, yeah.
That we're employing.
I also heard that you guys, where this place would kind of shut down when it was a hardware store. It was an empty warehouse.
Yeah.
Things were kiln drying or whatever, but nobody had to be here to supervise anything. Yep. And so after 5 o'clock, people were gone. Machines are still running, but everyone's gone. Mm-hmm. And then you have that potential for crime. Abandoned warehouse, people could break in, people lurking in the parking lot, everything's dark. You have people here almost not 24 hours a day, but 18 hours a day. You've got people here, lights are on in the...
We have security lights.
Security cameras. You got people hanging around, smoking a cigarette out on the sidewalk while they're, at their car or whatever. It gives a presence that somebody is here. And so it deters crime. And that's what a couple of the neighbors have pointed out to me, and I thought it's a beautiful thing.
That's just like on the new garage. We're going to have a nightlight.
Yeah. Somebody goes there, boom.
No, it'll just be dusted on.
Oh, really?
Every night. Well, you can't. No, we don't put motion lights in. We put dusted on.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that'll be lit up back there, which will keep that all lit up now.
Right.
Which will keep that neighborhood. And one of the neighbors already said, I can't wait for you to have that light on. She's an older neighbor, and... she says, I can't wait for it to be on. She's like, I get home late at night. There's no light on her garage.
Right.
But this'll shine right across her driveway, and she'll be happy.
Right. And then I remember when there used to be that little shack back there.
Yeah.
The old garage where people held garbage, and I'm sure it was full of unsavory activities.
It was.
And so even if the resident wasn't there doing unsavory activities, it becomes like a place for vermin and other unsavory people to hang out. So,
yeah. So we had tenants that broke in.
Old tenants?
Well, I don't know if they were old tenants, but yeah, we had to have the police here twice.
Since you've taken possession?
Since I've taken possession of it. Now they won't. Now we've got everything locked up and all that, but yeah.
They figured it out, we can't go to that place anymore.
We had vagrants.
Hey, you get that. We're still a city. People don't want to believe it, but we're still a city, so.
We are.
But, I think...
Well, you got any further questions of me? I mean, we're going forward. I don't know. Is there anything else that's on your plate?
Got any future... you got any future plans for this place besides obviously growing the industry?
No. I think we're good. I mean, if we can always use bus drivers. So if someone's interested, I can hire more.
All right, yeah.
I can hire more people.
So yeah, you heard that, people. People always tell me there's no jobs in this town. You have 55 here.
Oh, there are so many jobs in this town right now. They're endless.
Right.
Everyone needs a bus driver.
Everybody does need a limo driver.
The schools are all. You see the buses everywhere looking for bus drivers. I mean, you can see there's help wanted signs. You go around uptown Olean and look around.
Right.
There's help wanted signs.
I'm friends with a farmer from the farmer's market.
Yeah.
And he picks vegetables in the day, but in the first thing in the morning he's driving a school bus, picking the kids up for school. Then he goes home, he picks vegetables and prepares his field or whatever he has to do for the farm. By the end of the day, he picks them up, drop them off, and then he gets home. And before dinner, he's doing more of his farm work. So and then there's an auto body mechanic out in Hinsdale that does similar things. Yeah. I mean, everybody knows Junior, and he drives bus. And I mean, there's a few of those people that they drive bus during the day because hey, it's extra work. It doesn't take up a lot of your time.
It pays well.
It does.
It pays well.
Keeps you on the straight and narrow too, because if you
There's drug testing. Yeah.
There's drug testing. You can't have a DWI. You can't hold a CDL or any of the bigger licenses. So
that's correct.
Yeah. Plus, there's usually better drivers. When you're on the road all the time, you're usually a lot better than the average Joe. So
amazing where we can put a bus when you need to.
Yeah. So always hiring. Always hiring. I always have to. I feel like I have to.
Always looking for a good employee. Always.
Yeah. Oh. Sometimes the employee is the hard part to find.
That is.
Yeah. So
it is.
But no. Anything you want to specifically talk about? Anything?
No, I'm good. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. It was nice that we could talk about this and get it out into a. What do you call it?
The public forum, the social media.
Social media.
Yeah,
there it is.
Got to defend yourself against justice warriors.
I don't get into that social media stuff. My wife does, but I don't.
Right.
So we'll see. She's going to click into this, and we'll see what
we'll
what we get from this.
We'll have it up in just a little bit, and
I'll be very curious to see what happens.
Well, yeah, you're always welcome to come on the show. Just shoot me a call. Let me know. Right. We can schedule something else. If
Thanks
you have anything.
For having me. I'm thrilled. I mean, I appreciate that you did this. But, I mean, we're going to go forward. We're not leaving.
Right.
We're not leaving.
I don't blame you. You didn't do anything wrong.
We've turned into a multi-million-dollar operation now, and we're not leaving. So, I mean, we're just going to try and keep all the neighbors happy as we can make them.
Right.
That's my goal, is just keep the neighbors as happy as I can make them.
I'm a business owner and a property owner myself.
You are.
I always take that extra effort. If I have a tenant that disrupts a neighbor, whether it's their business or their house, I always try to make amends. You got to be a good neighbor.
You have to.
Right. And then but there's some people that you can't please no matter what you do unless you were to pack up and move out of state. Most people, you have those, and you just get grin and bear it, and you try to make everybody else happy.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Right. So,
yes, sir.
Well, Dave, it was good having you on the show.
Thank you.
We'll have to get you again sometime.
I'll be around for you.
Cool. And